So illusions are often used, especially in art, in the words of a more contemporary artist, to demonstrate the fragility of our senses. Okay, this is complete rubbish. Okay? The senses aren't fragile. If they were, we wouldn't be here. Okay? Instead, color tells us something completely different, that the brain didn't actually evolve to see the world the way it is. We can't. Instead, the brain evolved to see the world the way it was useful to see in the past. And how we see is by continually redefining normality. So, how can we take this incredible capacity of plasticity of the brain and get people to experience their world differently? Well, one of the ways we do in my lab and studio is we translate the light into sound, and we enable people to hear their visual world. Okay? And they can navigate the world using their ears. Here's David in the right, and he's holding a camera. On the left is what his camera sees. And you'll see there's a line, a faint line going across that image. That line is broken into 32 squares. And each square, we calculate the average color, and then we just simply translate that into sound. And now he's going to turn around, close his eyes, and find a plate on the ground with his eyes closed. He finds it. Amazing, right? So not only can we create a prosthetic for the visually impaired, but we can also investigate how people literally make sense of the world. But we can also do something else. We can also make music with color. So working with kids, they created images, thinking about what might the images you see sound like if we could listen to them. And then we translated these images. And this is one of those images. And this is a 6-year-old child composing a piece of music for a 32-piece orchestra. And this is what it sounds like. So a 6-year-old child, okay? Now, what does all this mean? What this suggests is that no one is an outside observer of nature, okay? We're not defined by our essential properties, by the bits that make us up. We're defined by our environment and our interaction with that environment, by our ecology. And that ecology is necessarily relative, historical, and empirical, right? So what I'd like to finish with is this over here, because what I've been trying to do is really celebrate uncertainty, because I think only through uncertainty is there potential for understanding. So if some of you are still feeling a bit too certain, I'd like to do this one. So if we have the lights down, and what we have here, can everyone see 25 purple surfaces on your left, and 25 call it yellowish surfaces on your right. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the middle 9 surfaces here under yellow illumination by simply putting a filter behind them. All right? Now you can see that changes the light that's coming through there, right? Because now the light's going through a yellowish filter and then a purplish filter. And I'm going to do this opposite on the left here. I'm going to put the middle 9 under a purplish light, okay? Now, some of you will have noticed that the consequence is that the light coming through those middle 9 on the right, or your left, is exactly the same as the light coming through the middle 9 on your right. Agreed? Yes? Okay, so they are physically the same. Let's pull the covers off. Now remember, you know that the middle 9 are exactly the same. Do they look the same? No. Question is that an illusion? And I'll leave you with that. So thank you very much.
Traffic is a global epidemic. US traffic is creating 45% of the world's air pollution. In the UK, time wasted in traffic costs 20 billion a year. Would you pay for cleaner air and a faster commute? Stockholm put it to a vote.
I voted for it, yes.
I voted for it.
I vote for it.
We're not old enough to vote.
We had to do something in Stockholm to improve the environment and to get a better flow in the traffic. We put a price on taking your car into the central parts of Stockholm, and we call that congestion charges.
If you start a system like this and it doesn't work on the first day, then you will be in big trouble. It must be perfect from day one.
There are 18 entry gates to the city. Each is equipped with cameras. Pictures are taken of the rear and front license plates. These pictures are sent to a central system that identifies the license plates and makes sure that the right person pays for the right passages.
One of the obstacles we overcame was the OCR, the optical character reading of the license plate. We went out to IBM's global organization and the R&D centers and find a very good software we could use. And we managed to implement it in 2 months' time.
This is the heart of the system where all images and passages are being processed. Over 99% of all pictures are correctly identified.
So it's nice. This is how it should be all the time.
Behind me you can see the traffic, and the clock is 6 p.m. Before we had the congestion charging, the traffic was queuing up at this time of the day.
Jag tycker det är en bra idé.
I think it's a good idea because I think that we should take care of the environment in the city.
The traffic went down with about 22% and the air pollution was about 14% better.
It's a huge international interest from different parts of the world, from the United States, from Latin America, from China, and it's really a pleasure to tell people not what we are planning to do, but what we actually have done in Stockholm.
I voted for it, yes I did. Not my husband, so but I did. I think he is not thinking like me for the future. I'm thinking for the children and the grandchildren.